Do you see a lot of violence in jail or rape or fight?
Don't drop the soaps. If the BBC, who hate me, after 1.5 years of investigation, after throwing me in jail, after investigating every single part of my life, they make this indictment saying this is why Tristan's guilty. The BBC get their hands on it, and they...
I wonder if I... British, it's the British, of course.
They read it, and the worst is... I'm a slave owner?
If I were to ask you,
2/3 of the world.
Tristan, I'm about to get married. What advice would you have for me if I could ask you like 3 questions? What should every person ask a potential spouse?
No.
Would you sign a 2-way prenup? Right, this just shows if the love is more than financial, right? Because regardless, as a human, you're going to provide for your kids and your family. It's natural. If you ever had more than one pet, you see it, right? But, you know, is the love more than financial, right? And then number 2, do you want kids? How many kids do you want? Number 3, what was the third one? I had 3. Prenup, kids. I might remember the last one.
Knowing about her very important. You know, she...
Someone's trying to find their purpose in life. How do you suggest them to go about finding their purpose? YouTubers, we see you
Okay. I can't be too loud. I can't be too loud. One of my roommates is working from home right now. Okay.
And thinking about building a Tate center.
What are your thoughts on Islam as a religion?
The 5 pillars of Islam is your declaration of faith.
Yeah. Now that you just got released from house arrest, do you think that's like a good sign that like things are going in the right direction?
I said what I said. I'm the fucking big boss. I make all the money. So if I say, bitch, make me a cup of coffee in the morning, she better bring it. This was completely unplanned. It was a random interview, middle of nowhere.
So, home, in-room, out with that.
Conservatories?
Yeah, conservatory roof insulation.
What's that about?
Bullshit. You knock on doors, people have conservatory rooms with glass ceilings. They're too hot or they're too...
Door knocking, I have seen some crazy cribs. Some crazy cribs.
cold in the winter, and you sell a ceiling insulation product. I used to make $1,500 a week. Wasn't bad for...
Very good. Above average. Way above average.
It was above average for when I was...
You'd be surprised how like nice some people are, and like some people, like if you take the negativity out of flexing, like some people just honestly like showing themselves off, and it's so cool to see people other than yourselves. Like it's also cool to see like-minded people and shit like that, but like seeing people other than you and like seeing the world it's interesting. It's entertaining at times.
I was 22 at the time, 23.
Nice. Proper hustler, huh? Go through it.
I've been through it, man. I worked at McDonald's, I worked in fast food.
McDonald's?
Yeah. Used to make the burgers, work in the drive-thru.
No way.
Come a long way since then.
Goddamn.
Got a little bit more money nowadays.
A little
bit more.
If you could tell yourself something at that time, what would you say? Like, chill, bro, you got this, or what do you say?
No, you know, I don't believe in when people say if you can go back in time and talk to your younger self. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't tell him anything because I like where I am today, and I feel like any cheat code I could have given myself or any little leg up I would have given myself means I wouldn't have learned the lessons to grow into the man that I became. I tell myself to call my parents more. Call your dad more, call your mom more. That's it. Besides that,
You gotta do that too.
That's good advice, though.
Probably the hardest
You know, I made a
thing
bunch of
about
stupid
myself.
mistakes, said a bunch of stupid things, did a bunch of crappy jobs, wasted a lot of time. Done it all, but
Don't regret it.
that's why I am where I am. That's why I am who I am. So I don't regret any of it, ever.
That's true. We just asked Andrew, we're like, who are the 5 people, alive or dead, if you could sit with? But I mean, it's a quite thought-provoking one. It's a little bit loaded, so.
That is thought-provoking. Who would I sit with? Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, I love him. I read Meditations many times.
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Is that the a one-eye guy?
No, that's Horatio Nelson. But he might be at the table as well. Horatio Nelson is the one-eyed guy.
Napoleon? Who's Napoleon?
Napoleon Bonaparte was the French emperor up until 1815 during the Second Restoration.
Now, what was his...
Greatest general of all time. Won more land battles than any general in human history. More than Alexander the Great, more than Julius Caesar, more than all of them put together. More than Hannibal Barca, more than everybody.
But interesting.
Who else? If I had 2 more people to sit with, alive or dead. Genghis Khan of the Mongol Empire.
Yeah, that guy's
And,
G.
and besides him, one more. That'd be a very interesting dinner conversation. Who else?
You'd fit in. I think you'd fit in.
Professor Stephen Hawking. I like to speak to somebody that much smarter than myself.
Oh.
I don't meet I'm not bragging, but day to day when I walk around the world, I never meet someone and think, wow, this guy's so much smarter
That's
than me.
true.
Whereas Professor Stephen Hawking was the next level of intelligence.
I don't even think I understand what the guy would say.
He's got his computer voice, he can speak.
No, I know he can speak, but like I feel like we're not understanding the words. I've heard him speak before, but his vernacular is like his vocabulary is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he talks about like crazy scientific.
Yep. So probably those 5 people. But I think it would be more interesting to have 5 different dinners, one-on-one with each of them, as opposed to having a mixed conversation.
Yeah, because then you can't really get to know it.
Yeah.
What did you ask, like Genghis Khan?
I'd like to understand his mindset. The mindset of everything in the world belongs to me and I'm going to take it. Because I feel like I've got that, but not like he did.
He had it, but he actually acted upon it. He took the steps towards it.
Very interesting character.
Yeah.
There's very few people alive that I'd want to sit with,
Maybe
that I
Jay-Z.
won't be able to sit with. No, I believe that I will meet the people who I want to meet.
That's true.
People like Elon Musk, love to talk to him. Probably the...
Toppy.
Well, I
There's a lot of people that like I'm not really interested in talking to, but there are a few people that I am interested in talking to. I'm a social person. I'll talk to talk. I love meeting people, but like people that I'm like hunting for, there's only a few. Besides that, it's just casual conversation if I run into somebody.
I think hear me out. I think Elon Musk is the smartest man alive. And people say, no, he's not, because this person has a higher IQ, this person has a higher IQ. I believe intelligence is what your actual intellect is and how you apply it to the real world. So a lot of people will be like, oh, well, there's a kid in India who was found with an IQ of 183. Cool, he can pass an IQ test, but what's he done? What's he done? Nothing. He's just registered super high on an IQ test. So let's see where he is at 30 or 40, because there are people with high IQs who live and die completely flat.
But there's only so much to do under the sun. You know what I mean? Even with having a high IQ, you also need a lot more character traits to like really put something down in this world, you know, to really make sure that like it happens and you like push through the opposing waves coming towards you. You have to separate the water. Even if you're smart enough to build a boat, that boat that you now are has to be strong enough to handle the seas of money that's coming your way.
Whereas Elon Musk has taken the intellect he has and applied it to the real world and become literally, quite literally, the most successful man in the world, and he's revolutionizing space travel and near-Earth orbit and all that stuff. So how is he not the smartest man alive? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's smart, is he?
What has he done?
Yeah.
Show me
What's his bank balance? You know, what's his reach? What's his influence? So I think Elon Musk may be the smartest man alive.
Literally, in every vertical now that I think of it, you're actually really right. Like, he has the influence, he has the like fame, you can say.
Yeah.
He has the
He's got the
fans.
success. He's got the money. He's got
Success,
he makes.
It's not all about money. You have to think about what you've done with your time. Don't forget about your past self, okay? Don't think about the good things you've done, the good deeds you've done. Because me personally, I probably fed over 60,000 people and only spent about $200, $300 on transportation, you know? But without me being there, that job, that part of life wouldn't have gotten done, you know? The trees wouldn't have gotten watered.
Makes all the right moves. So
Entrepreneur. He's even an engineer.
I
Like,
know. Maybe the smartest man alive, in my opinion.
and like multifacets as well. Crazy.
The jokes as well.
Yeah, he's got jokes.
And he's fucking hilarious.
And he has Asperger's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that in life, if you're trying to be very successful, you should go like the Elon Musk route, which is many fucking businesses that are like super different? Or do you think you just pick one business and just go really
I
hard
think
at that?
different things work for different people.
Right.
Different things work for different people. I think for that, as long as you're playing to your strengths, that's what you should do. I mean, there are people, let's take Floyd Mayweather. I've heard people laugh at Floyd Mayweather. Be like, oh, Floyd Mayweather, he can't even
He's
read and
illiterate.
write properly. And I'm like, well, he became a billionaire. Still, So how dumb is he? If you're broke, saying, "Oh, Floyd Mayweather can't read or write," and he became a billionaire through not just fighting, but obviously owning his own promotions company. Again, it's intellect applied to the real world. Does he have the same type of intellect as Elon Musk? No. Albert Einstein that once said, if you measure all the animals' intellect by their ability to climb trees, you'll have a goldfish in a bowl who will sit and believe his whole life that he's an idiot. You know? You're measuring people on different
with
things.
the wrong test.
Yeah, so I mean, people like Floyd Mayweather, again, it's intellect applied to the real world. So how is he not smarter than some brokey sitting at home being like, Floyd Mayweather's dumb? Is he dumb?
His boxing intellect, I guess, if you analyze...
You have to be super smart to...
No, you can never say someone like Floyd Mayweather is dumb because he provided entertainment. He gave motivation in his craft, which has motivated plenty of people in their own craft, right? So, no, you can't. He was a very important part of civilization.
You have to be a next level of intelligent to box like he does.
He's making millions of decisions every millisecond while he's tired, while he's getting hit.
Yep. So again, that's a real case of intellect applied as well. I don't see how anyone could call him stupid. You know,
Facts.
There are lots of people online, lots of haters who will say to people like me and Andrew, "Oh, you two are just dumb. You're new money. You're this. You're that." I'm like, well, I've done all right, haven't I?
Yeah.
Plus, I think new money is a compliment.
Right. Me too. What do you get if you're old money?
When people say you're new money, they try and do it to try and cheapen you and act like you're somehow less than old money people. I'm like, let's rephrase it. Let's not call it new money anymore. I have to describe.
Okay. I used to say this way. I know he's about to say too. But as I matured and dwelled on it more, right? Let's say I'm on episode 3 right now. Like there's certain things you just do differently, right? Like with old money and new money, you could tell that they're in like different parts of like time. You just experience it, bro. Like if you did whatever you wanted at a young age, by the time you reach an older age, it's like my cousin, he's settling down at 30, basically, right? And now people in our generation are like, nah, we're not settling down to like, some people are like, we're not settling down to like 40, 30 something, you know? And it's because usually those people started their life a little bit earlier, you know, from leaving like the child status. I don't have a way to describe that yet.
Describe myself, but instead of saying I'm new money, I say I come from a family with nothing and I made hundreds of millions by myself. That's what new money means. So when you say it that way, it sounds super cool. Whereas an old money person will say, my father was the CEO or the owner of Mercedes, and now I'm a billionaire because my father was rich.
I was born. That's what you say.
I feel like new money is a compliment, and I know good old money people, good new money people, but I take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an insult at all. So when people throw that insult at me, and you know who throws that insult at me?
Well, new money people. Old money people.
Poor people. I'm telling you, when you walk into a room with my net worth and you're with some old money people, some new money people, no one gives a shit. But it's broke people with no...
Like, I have a lot of... Like, I'm only 23. So everything that I have that I bought and got on my own is new money, right? Right? Not... I like to keep everything from my ancestors separate for the sake of this video. Okay? Now, there's one dude, he's like 30-something, maybe. Yeah, he's 30-something. He likes to call me Hollywood. And anyone, you know, if someone calls you Hollywood, that's kind of like an insult. It's funny. But I guess we can make it funny because we're cool. But it's kind of like an insult, right? So I'm like, Hollywood, dude, I'm 23. You know what I mean? And then we're at the same job, same position. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? We could have been at the same points in life if I got married at a younger age and had a wife and kids. But besides that, it's like, yo.
No money. That will insult me and say, oh, you're new money. I'm like, you're no money. Old money people like me. I got loads of old money friends. Loads.
Yeah.
And they all
They
respect
respect
me.
you.
Yeah.
They're like, you're like what my dad did back in the day.
Exactly. It's poor people who will call you new money.
You're no money.
Yeah, they're no money. Who gives a shit what they think?
Yeah.
They got nothing.
It's interesting. If I had to ask you, we spoke a bit about yesterday at the dinner table. what are your thoughts on Islam as a religion? I know that your brother converted and he stuck to it.
Well, I know a lot about Islam, obviously, because since my brother's conversion, I've read a lot of books on Islam.
Really?
My simple argument would be I understand Andrew's draw to it. Exactly like I'm saying about intellect applied is my idea of success and intelligence in a man. If you take worldview and apply it to society and look at how the society is working, you can say that Islam may be one of the most successful mindsets and mind views in the world.
Pause. This is 180,000 views and he's smoking right now? What?
Currently. And everyone's had its dark ages. Christian Europe has had its dark ages. Obviously, the Islamic world has had its dark ages, where things weren't going too smoothly. And that's
Actually,
the nature of the world. But
not
look at
Floyd.
today. And everything that's happening in the Middle East, the lack of drugs,
Mike
the
Tyson
lack
does
of
that
rape,
too.
the lack of degeneracy, the lack of all these horrible things that I see in the West, then yeah, I absolutely get it, because it's a worldview that is shared by the culture and the people who live in a certain part of the world, and that part of the world is absolutely flourishing. So yeah, I mean, you can't argue with results.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Obviously,
The numbers speak.
Myself, I am a Christian, but
Yeah.
I have massive respect for the Muslim world and obviously my brother and all my Muslim friends.
Yeah.
So I try to learn about the religion just out of respect for my brother, because I'm not going to have some idiot try and throw me off guard. Oh, your brother's a Muslim. What's the difference between Sunni and Shia? What are the four pillars of Islam? I'm not gonna sit there.
You know
and,
this.
I don't know. Of course I do. Sorry, the 5 pillars of Islam is your declaration of faith.
Yes.
It's prayer. It's charity. It's fasting during the month of Ramadan. And it's pilgrimage to Hajj. So I know all about the religion.
Why did you?
Yeah, no, I've got to know.
Facts. He got it off the dome though. That's just tough. I can't. I am not off the dome person like that. Like I learned all that in public school, but I'm like, I don't know. I like to. What really attracted me about it was the whole geometry aspect about Islam. It's more, that's how it's more structured in thinking, and I just kind of like downloaded it into my biological AI and kept moving on and moved on with life from there.
It's an important part of my brother's life. How am I not going to know about it?
Sure.
So I'm a knowledgeable man. I like to know things. So
Yeah.
I actually.
Like the whole, like one of the pillars is donating, right? Never realizing in government, right, the taxes, that's like you donating, bro. So you actually check one of those pillars every day, every time you buy something, every time you pay your taxes at the end of the year. Like you're actually checking off one of the pillars, and it's just part of Christianity. No, I don't think it's part of Christianity. It is too, because you give to the church, right? Because you have to think that we're a society, you know. What separates us, because you have to think like with religion, when there's God, there is Adam, right? Adam, right? There is no religion there, okay? And then religion was created for the mass of society with all these humans, which keeps us in sync, pretty much. So just to keep our backbone rolling, when you go outside and you're not looking at a forest or it looks like a nuke went off 30 years ago. Or when you look at my Jamaica video, these things are needed.
Understand Islam. So when people don't understand it and they try and tell me something about it, I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, where'd you get that information from?
Yeah.
It's probably from some stupid far-right website, and like people don't understand.
Literally, they don't fact check. But
No, they don't.
I have an interesting question then. All right. Sorry to interrupt you guys. I have a really quick announcement to make. It's gonna go back to the podcast in just 10 seconds. A lot of you have been asking me, Ahmed, how do you make all your money? What do you do for a living? How do you afford this lifestyle? Well, I don't do e-com, I don't do SMMA, I don't do crypto. What I've been doing it since I was 13, and literally anyone can do it from anywhere around the world, no matter how much money they have, no matter how old they are. So yeah, if you want to do the same, I made a video explaining literally exactly how I did it. Link is in the bio, it's completely free. You know, no one could say that.
It's the same pitch every time. It works though.
Have more shoulders than you at the moment. What do you do, or what can you do to like free your mind from all of it? Because right now, I guess you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. What's your way of freeing your mind or like relaxing or?
I've worked my whole life to build a countenance in myself where I can handle the weight of the world on my shoulders. I don't think you can throw somebody who's unprepared into the kind of situations that I've been thrown into and then just deal with it. I don't think people are.
Considering extroverted and introverted people, for extroverted people, I just feel like it's part of who we are. It's what we have to do. Then for sure, introverted people, you know, the people are usually more behind the scenes kind of, which is which tends to be a bigger population, I believe, too. No. But yeah, that's too much. That's the outlier data. To bring that back in, it's like how we balance.
Born like that necessarily, but I've built myself up over the years, you know. I'm a very smart guy, I'm very strong, I'm physically fit, I'm mentally capable. So when I find myself in a situation like this, I think, okay, well, if I can't handle this, then who can? You know?
Yeah.
So, and what choice do I have? What does not handling it look like? Hang myself, shoot myself, start taking drugs, drink myself to death like a lot of people would do?
Yeah.
Start crying my eyes out all the
You don't have
time,
a choice.
develop drug addictions? No, I can't do that. So I don't have a choice. So I only know how to deal with things one way, like a professional.
Yeah.
So whatever happens to me is whatever's going to happen to me.
Interesting. So I guess you don't journal or meditate.
If you reflect on death, it helps you think to the light, in my opinion. Because literally all you have to do is just go the opposite way.
You right?
Not really.
No journaling?
Nah, not really. No, I don't
Meditation.
journal, I don't meditate.
But I guess, I mean, exercise is meditative in a sense.
It is. It is. People meditate in different ways, you know.
Yeah.
Spend time with my daughter.
If I don't want to smoke, if I don't want to exercise, I usually meditate. If I don't want to do those things, then I'll journal. But before all that, sleep is always a good one.
Or train. There are things
Don't stop dreaming.
I do.
You're a
that.
family man, huh? I see the videos of you with your daughter. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to take...
Don't really care. These people are truly evil. I think the people who attack me and Andrew, they might not like everything I say, which is good.
Fine, fair enough.
I would hate to live in a world where everyone thought exactly like me.
Boring.
How uninteresting would that be and uninspiring? You'd never meet anyone you could have a conversation with or a debate with or have
Yeah.
a different point of view, and you'd never learn anything new.
Yeah.
I'll speak to people who know things I don't, maybe I disagree with, and they might change my mind.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
What I don't do is when I disagree with something somebody says, think, okay, well, I hope that person goes to jail. Let me try and use my power
Shit,
to lock
yeah.
them up. I think that is truly evil, especially when they
Yeah, like you're trying to send someone to hell on earth. Like, that's insane. I feel like people are given often the chance to make it back out, but you know, like you have to remember there's people out here that's very blasphemous. You know, very blasphemous. And even if you're atheist, it's like, dude, who are you? You know, because then if you're atheist, you have a pet and you look at your pet, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Right?
know that behind the scenes, you know, I've got my daughter, I'm trying to spend time with my family, I'm trying to help people. I mean, me and Andrew spend millions every year helping people all around the world.
I saw.
And they want to
Tate
throw me
does
in
a
jail?
call.
For what? Because they don't like what I say? It's stupid. I'm certainly not a human trafficker. That's just retarded.
Dumb as shit. Nah, I mean, it's crazy, but at the end of the day...
Yeah, so many people live in fear. It's like, yo, I get it. You need that to help you think. Like I was reflecting, when I said he'll reflect on death. There's so many people that like live in that fear state, and they'll get the whole fear God thing. But like, yo, are you saying fear God because you're trying to scare your enemies, or are you fearing God to humble yourself? Like I can fear God to humble myself, but some people are fearing God to just scare their enemies because they're don't want to admit that they may be weaker or second place, third place, fifth place, right?
Yeah, I guess people are dumb.
Yeah, people are dumb. It's as simple as that. And they'd rather, instead of having somebody say,
You don't have to be dumb, bro. You could just sit there and admit, like, oh, I don't know as much as you. Then you won't feel dumb. You'll just know that there's a limit to your power.
things they disagree with, instead of listening to what that person has to say, there are people praying I go to jail.
Like, anyone that's ever played Pokemon knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Praying.
Every day.
And I'm sure some of them are smart enough to know that all these charges are bullshit and know that this is just an attack from higher up and it's just being, orchestrated on me.
Yeah.
And I don't wish that those people go to jail. I really don't, unless they've committed a crime. I don't want them silenced. I don't want them thrown in jail.
Yeah.
So when you look at
You
history,
don't think about them even.
no, because when you look at history, the people who want the other side silenced and want the other people's opinions silenced, want people's tongues cut out, and want things banned and censored, they're never the good guys ever. After 100 years of
that's
learning,
true.
they never turn out to be the good
Even
guys.
Prophet Muhammad, they threw stones at him.
Exactly.
They used to throw the trash at him when he walked the street. He's talking about kindness and empathy, and
Yeah.
they throw his trash at him.
Yep.
And one day, you know what happened? This lady always used to throw trash from his balcony. And one day he's walking and he realizes as he passes by that street that there's no trash thrown on him. You know what he does? He goes and checks up on her. He's like, where is she?
Yeah.
He finds out she's in the hospital or like she's ill. And he goes to visit her. And he sits with her, you know? Like, that's...
Yeah, there's loads of cool stories about it.
So many. So, I guess I heard recently in the interviews where Andrew talks about you, he says that like Tristen, mental fortitude inside jail, he just didn't give a shit.
Mental fortitude.
Bro, when I went to jail, like, because if you look me up and you search hard, you'll see it. Literally, it was so crazy. I was like, all right, I'm not going to be here. I try to accept it. Then the intrusive thoughts came in. And then I had to talk to God this is back when I was like Christian. And I prayed to Jesus and all that shit. And I was like, yo, I try not to bug you too much because we technically live in a very sinful world and we always have to beg for forgiveness. But yo, help me get through this, right? Because I just knew I had to let the time pass, right? You just gotta let time pass. I'm very chill like that, very nonchalant. And bro, literally, I was like, I was like, fuck it. Just take the word. I literally almost killed myself, yo. I almost killed myself. I was like, yo, what's good? After that, ever since that moment, I was like, yo, what's good? Like, I was in bed. I felt possessed, and I got up, and I went to the second floor, right? It's like, I'm going to the second floor. I'm trying to set the vibe, you know, take the edge off. And then I literally got up, possessed, bro. And I walked to the edge, and I grabbed the railing, and I almost jumped off. I was like, yo, no way. Then I went back to my bed. And I was like, all right. And then it's so long now, but I got through it.
It's part of life, man. I can't be the guy who crumbles and breaks down and cries.
So in jail you were chilling?
Well, it's not chilling. It's like this. All right, so I was in jail for 92 days, right? If I hadn't been mentally strong, I would have been crying and smacking my head against the wall and screaming and panicking for 92 days. But I still would have been in there 92 days, nonetheless. Yeah. So it wouldn't have changed my circumstance.
It was so cold. I was spending my 3 days, like adapting to the cold.
There's a time for panic. There's a time for rash decision making. There's a time for crying even, if it's applicable to your situation. That would have benefited me precisely 0%. So no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to put a smile on my face, wave at the guards every day, give them a nod, ask them how they're doing, do my push-ups, and just continue being me. Like, I'm never going to break down. And that's what they want.
So you were not always like this, though. This is something that it grew over time of training and...
Yeah, I think it's my personality is developed, obviously. You know, it took me I learned a lot of hard lessons in life.
Hard knocks.
So I think that the people who threw me in jail certainly they underestimated who I was and where I was from. Maybe they thought I was some, I don't know, spoiled rich boy who never suffered any adversity or any hardship in my life, and they're going to throw me in jail and I'm going to panic and sign a false confession or something.
And you're like, this is my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And
Well, they're trying to send me back to jail now. Fucking send me. Send me. Send me to jail, because if you send me to jail, now you have to tell the world the evidence against me.
And there's nothing.
The evidence is stupid. In look, chat logs where I said that my ex-girlfriend is my slave as a joke. That's the evidence against me.
Really?
That's what's in the official file. So the BBC, you have to understand, BBC documents came out recently, and a bunch of new articles came out saying Tristen talks about his ex-girlfriend being a slave, and he talks about enslaving women, and he says, oh, this bitch is my slave. This is a big bombshell. And I'm like, no. This is a tiny splash of nothing, because if the BBC, who hate me, right, after 1.5 years of investigation, after throwing me in jail, after investigating every single part of my life, they make this indictment saying this is why Tristen's guilty. The BBC get their hands on it and they read it. And the worst is, did I talk about buying people, selling people, transporting people, making money from people? Is there even $1? No, the big bombshell is that I said a girl is my slave once. Well, if me joking that a girl is my slave is proof that I actually own slaves. Keep in mind,
What?
and I'm half black. I'm the descendant. No, I'm buying
He is half
people,
black.
selling people, transporting people, making money from people. Is there even $1? No, the big bombshell is that I said a girl is my slave once. Well, if me joking that a girl is my slave is proof that I actually own slaves, keep in mind I'm half black.
He should have just said sex slave. No one would have took him seriously.
I'm the descendant of slaves. So what I refer to a girl as a slave, but I did say it. That's a real conversation. But that's proof I'm a slave owner. Like, the fact that that's the biggest thing they took from the file is actually very embarrassing. It just goes...
Oh, gosh. All right, so a lot of people do refer to society as slavery, but you have to think about it, like, what really lasts forever? Why is gold worth so much money? Why? It's durable, right? It's durable. It can handle the transfer of electricity. As a human being, have you ever just... I don't even want to say it.
to show how weak the
If the
evidence
girl
is.
was
Yeah.
upset about that, she would have come forward and said,
Oh, and she's not. She told the police I'm a wonderful man. I've never committed a crime. The person who I was actually referring to said I'm a wonderful person. I've never
they're
committed
like, no,
a crime.
shut up.
Yeah, no. They don't want to put that in the file. They don't want to put it on TV. Of course not.
Crazy.
Of course not.
It's honestly crazy, the amount of corruption, you know, and like, I mean, obviously, like, the Romanian police are trying to do their job, but like,
Look, the Romanian police force is full of very good people. The judiciary and the judges, again, very good people. Even the organization.
Yeah, they're trying to do the job, but lock them up for 90 days is crazy. You could have watched them for 90 days. You could have them on house arrest. But if they did have as much money as they had, they could generally escape house arrest.
That keeps screwing me up is full of some very good people, and they prevent very serious crimes, and they keep the streets
So you know their riches may not be capped.
safe.
it's very safe.
However, there are certain individuals within that organization who do not care about the truth. They do not care about fair. They do
aren't
not
the same
care
as
that
us.
innocent people are on the street. They don't care if you go to jail and you're innocent. They care about their careers, how much money they can take from you, how big of a trophy they can make out of you.
How
They're
much
going to
money?
cut your head off and put it on their shelf to say, I got Tristen Tate. Got me with what? It doesn't...
Because, you know, when they go out and they're drinking, they're trying to flirt and make friends. They're bragging about all their accomplishments. All their accomplishments. It's like, but hey, they're our accomplishments, right?
doesn't matter that I'm not a criminal. That's all they care about. These people are singularly focused. And again, that's why I describe them as evil. These are evil people.
You spoke about Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah.
I'm sure you read his books and stuff.
Meditations,
yeah. Yeah. What do you think about him, and what do you think about the book, man? The way the guy talks, like, or the way he writes, and it was his private journal. He was not even writing it for anyone else.
Yeah, and it's crazy that all these thousands of years later, people are still reading it. What I would say is, I just think that books like that need to be propagated and read more in schools. I mean, I know people read their Shakespeare and stuff, but now if you look at the books they're reading in American schools,
Gay.
books about transitioning your gender and
Like, don't try and read me, bro.
stuff, I'm like, well, that's not what people should be reading. People should be reading out.
Off camera in restaurants. And
Okay. I just think they're too
the way
young
that
for
you guys, like, let's say
surgeries.
I have a
If you can't do it,
You gotta experience more life, bro, before you... You know what I mean?
No.
Like, to think you're gonna die tomorrow is like, why even be part of society? I'm telling you, we need a program in America. It's like, hey, we'll go drop you off in ungoverned land somewhere. Do you think?
and you have to form some sort of team if you're gonna get anywhere. You have to have good
But watch it turn to a government
men around you and good
or dictatorship.
friends around you. Every king had generals. Every soldier had the soldier to his left and right. You know, every single person who's won any great battle or any great victory or any great moral victory didn't do it by himself. He had other people with him. So if you're born with a man and you have exactly the same blood, exactly the same interests, the same last name, you have to be fighting for the exact same things. You can go your separate ways if you like. If you really hate your brother, if you really hate members of your family, I understand. But I don't see who else there was in life, especially many years ago when I didn't know anyone to team up with. So we've just always been a team, and we've never even thought about it, never planned it. It just naturally happened. I think that's what God made brothers for.
I think your dad, I guess, had a lot of impact on that.
You know, not as much as people think, because my father didn't have too many good people around him, and my father didn't have a brotherly relationship like we had. I think
That's interesting.
that's just proximity, being going through hardship together, being in the exact same crappy situations together, you know, celebrating our success together. it just formed us into this friendship that, you know, lots of people try to emulate and lots of people try to copy, and I really hope that they do, because I think more brothers should be like us.
Yeah, I'm a younger brother, and when I see you, I see like you have as a younger brother. A lot of younger brothers, it hurts the ego to think of him as an older brother, to give that respect.
Well, I don't understand why you can't be proud of your brother and his achievements.
Exactly.
Let's say, I mean, okay, our businesses are all shared, but let's say I only made $1 million a year and Andrew made 10. Cool. Well, I'm still successful. Why shouldn't I be in a position where I'm like, great, my brother makes $10 million a year, you know? All of our incomes are the same, but he's a more successful kickboxer than me, for example. Oh, I'm the 2-time European champion, that's it. Andrew's the 4-time world champion. Everyone's like, oh, you're jealous. My brother's the 4-time world kickboxing champion. Why the fuck?
Bro, some people just want to compete so bad. It's good. I like to do it for entertainment, but also that's why I feel like my dad always said, everyone's not your friend, and you have to pick some people, and you have to allow some people in. You can't allow everyone in, you know. And when we say you can't allow everyone in, is don't let people in that are for sure like out to get you, you know, because it's like, why? Ooh. Ooh.
Would I be upset by that fact? I'd be upset if I was the 2-time European kickboxing champion and my brother was a fat, lazy fuck who never did any training. That would upset me.
That's true.
The fact that he's pushed himself and he's surpassed me in that realm, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say, I guess, and I don't know the one saying this, but what did you say about someone who says, like, the Tate brothers kind of promote materialism?
I think there's a healthy amount of materialism in the world. I think there's a saying, there's only so much wealth a man really needs, the rest is just for sharing. And yeah, we promote materialism, but the people who...
Amen.
will come after us are people who cannot do anything for anybody. So yes, I bought...
Or themselves.
That car cost me $660,000. Fine. I've also donated more than that this year in charity to help feed hungry people.
Millions. I saw the videos.
No,
Crazy.
So, yeah, millions and millions.
You can go TatePledge.com, look at the videos. You'll see they're wearing Tate brothers on the back of their shirt, helping people who can't see, blind people in Africa, giving them eye surgery, like very specific operations. Yeah, man, poorest parts of the world.
He could have pre-ordered his own spaceship from Elon Musk.
Parts are not glamorized to help, you know? People want to help. A church burns, and no offense to churches, I love churches, but a church burns, everyone wants to donate money. And then people in Africa can't even see, and you guys are the ones supporting them.
Well, it's like, you know, so the people who will attack me for materialism aren't people who can do anything good themselves. It's just a way of trying to hurt me. Yes, I like fast cars. Shoot me. I like them. They're great.
It's your passion.
So I'll spend millions of dollars on a car. But at the same time, the person who will say, oh, those are millions of dollars you spent on the car, you should have spent it helping people. That person makes $25,000.
Not everyone wants help, though. Y'all have seen those hero movies. Not everyone wants help. Some people are playing bad guy, and some people do indeed have a death wish. It's just part of it. I don't have a death wish, but
A year and helps precisely nobody ever. They don't help anybody. They don't do anything good for anybody. I was once playing a thing on Twitter. I said, everyone, send me your favorite GoFundMe pages. If I like it, I'll donate $1,000. So I like this one, 1,000. I was just donating random thousands to these GoFundMe pages.
Yeah.
And obviously there's some idiot just like, oh look, he only donated 1,000 to a page that needed 50,000. Only 1,000 to him, that's nothing. And I'm like, to you, to the person I'm helping, it's a lot. True. And I was just handing out these thousands like people hand out dollar bills, you know.
And they were discredited. In fact, they should be telling you, well done.
There's always.
I do think though people should be more nomadic. We should be working on moving people, giving certain areas time to reset, because then we will be able to avoid we can slow down the cycle of the Earth's period.
Actually cared, they'd be saying, Tristen, you did well, keep doing it.
Or they say, why are you showing off your charity? Okay, I have a counter argument to that. When the war broke out in Ukraine and a bunch of orphans and women and kids were coming across the Ukrainian border, I was driving up there with food and coats and shoes and all this stuff. And I drove up there and I posted the videos. Yeah, myself, personally, 7 times. What? And I posted the videos on my Instagram, on my old Instagram. And when I did it, people were like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. You should just go and help. You shouldn't be showing off." But because I did it, hundreds of other young men in Romania went and copied me.
Wow.
So I'm trying to inspire others to do the same thing. So when they say Tristen Tate's giving $10,000 to this cause, and I share the donation and I share the links and give what you can, I'm inspiring other people to do the exact same thing. What I don't do is I do not exploit people. When I was at the Ukrainian border, you can watch all the videos. I don't show one refugee. I don't show one of the women and kids coming across. I don't wave a camera in their face and say, "Hey, look, I got the same stuff."
Yeah.
No, zero. I didn't show anybody. I just showed my car full of supplies, driving up there, driving back with the empty car, because I'm trying to inspire people to do the same thing without embarrassing people and without taking advantage of people.
Getting reaction.
Or trying to step on them to try to get myself. I'm already rich enough. I'm already famous enough. I don't need some charity video to go viral. But I'm trying to inspire the world to do the same thing.
That's true. I guess now that you just got released from house arrest, you think that's like a good sign that like things are going in the right direction, or does it not mean anything?
Yeah, look, it's a very good sign. On Twitter, there was a bunch of idiots who saying, "Oh, they're definitely guilty because 10 years ago they made this joke on the internet." Look, the judges aren't listening to the people on Twitter. The judges are looking at the actual evidence against me. And when the best judges in this country are looking at the evidence file, is Tristen Tate a human trafficker? Reading the entire thing and saying, "Okay, release him from jail. Okay, now release him from house arrest." And they're releasing me further and further. That means things are moving in the right direction. So it's only the judges whose opinions I care about. When someone on Twitter says I'm guilty, I don't give a shit. Because they're not judges, and they don't know Romanian law, and they don't know anything.
That's interesting. You spoke about your dad. I actually, this was so interesting for me to think about. Usually, because your dad was not so present in your life growing up, you know, obviously he had his chess games all around the world. He was not that present when you were growing up. Usually that ends up...
We had similar dads, which is pretty interesting. Like, different flavor pudding, but interesting, similar stories.
With the child resenting their father. But I feel like, in your case, how does it work that you're not resentful to him for not being there as much?
One, my dad was busy and he had his own shit to do. Two, he made sure I learned all the important lessons about being a man that he had to teach me. And he was not a perfect person, and he was not a perfect man. But everything important that he knew that I needed to know about being a man.
I like to leave perfection to the materialistic things of life.
Including, focus on you're on your own for a little while, you know? I feel like he taught me. So there are people out there who knew him or didn't know him or have read about him who will try to fault him as a person. I'm not trying to say he was a perfect person. I'm trying to say he was an amazing father. Because you can't argue with results. When you look at where me and Andrew are, again, regardless of what people on Twitter think, we have completely clean criminal records. We're both very, very well accomplished athletes. You know, we're media personalities. We're very financially successful. We help people.
In every vertical.
People. Yeah, so...
Success.
So, in what way was my dad a bad father? In zero way, if you look at the results.
I guess it's just an excuse that people use sometimes because they're not happy with the current situation. They say, "Oh, I had this dad."
Yeah, it's a crutch that people lean on.
Yeah.
It's a crutch that people lean on, and it's very easy to blame someone else. Whereas I live in a world of complete self-accountability. I think that everything good that happens to me and everything bad that happens to me is my fault one way or another. So I'm not going to make any excuses for anything that's happened and blame anyone in my life. Because, you know,
we're getting no money.
I even have to say some of this stuff because he's saying it for me. And I like... Oh, I'm going to title this. Who is Malibaba featuring Vicarious Tate?
Connections, $100. Do you have any ideas of how you go about doing that, navigating it?
Well, I mean, now it's very easy. If I knew everything now that I knew back then.
No, let's say you didn't know, because you could just buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, exactly, I'd buy Bitcoin. Yeah. But I wouldn't do anything differently. I guess to rephrase the question, what advice would I give to the young men of the world today? I would say that the world has become much harder in lots of ways, but it's also become much easier in lots of ways. I mean, me and Andrew have programs like The Real World, are the online educational platform. That,
18 ways?
Yeah, 18 different millionaires teaching 18 different...
No, that's not it. I have not spell the word. Bi-curious. Here it is. No. Yeah, that he's live. Fuck it. You see what I mean?
Different wealth creation methods.
Wow.
And there's a health and fitness
You see-
professor in the
you saw.
group as well.
I agree with a lot of things, and I put my 2 cents in, which gave you the same perspective on me.
So there's so many resources, I think, at hand for younger people. Not just resources that I have. The internet as a whole is a resource that
Information.
I didn't have when I was young. The internet was very new when I was young. I mean, I was still trying to make money in sales by making phone calls through phone books and stuff. So I feel like the world is a lot easier if you're willing to do the work and apply yourself and use the tools available to you. I think that we live in an amazing new world full of, new opportunities and new ways of getting information and applying information. Just take advantage of it. It's the silver lining. Don't waste all your time on social media. Don't sit there scrolling on TikTok. And there's a man from the looking girls pretending to eat digital ice cream. My point is, it's what tools do you successful if you do that.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities now. Anything, you can do anything.
Anything.
First, by saying the grass.
Okay, I remember this. Actually, I don't want to miss something.
Green, the sky is red.
Well, we said things in a way that's very abrasive, and we did it on purpose. And the reason we are as famous as we are, that they recommend them to me. I've heard about ayahuasca, some bullshit. Like it makes you see things. You do it in the jungle, and apparently it changes your perspective on life. Or people take these
Helps you. It helps
Adderall,
you.
etc., saying, "Oh, this is beneficial."
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in if it's not broken, don't fix it. I am smart. I'm happy. I'm content. I'm a multimillionaire. Why would I try and fuck with my
That's
brain?
true.
Why would I want to take Adderall? Why would I want to take
Rolling the wheel with Tristen Tate. Oh my god.
out of ayahuasca? Doesn't matter if they're legal. Doesn't matter if they're not legal. I think that there isn't a massive mindset shift or a massive brain shift that I need to go through to make my life better. So no, keep the do them if you want at your own peril.
Yeah.
But like I'm not broken, so I'm not trying to fix myself.
That's true. That makes sense. For some people out there who, let's say, someone's trying to find their purpose in life.
Yeah.
How do you suggest them to go about finding that purpose? Or do you think making money?
Try new things. Do the trial. Try the tutorial. Dedicate some time to it. Reflect on your inner child and use your imagination. Things like that. Take a trip to Colorado, try some mushrooms. Take a trip somewhere legal, do some recreational shit. Go on a herbal extravaganza. And then try not to... Nah, I can't even say that. Yeah.
Money should be everyone's purpose, necessarily.
No,
Like, money does not have to be evil. But it doesn't always have to be money, because some people invite you into things just off of networking. Some people will trade with you, like the merchants and the lower economic classes used to do and still kind of do, right? You got the carpenter and the mechanic chilling, the auto body shop guy and the mechanic guy. We got the eye doctor and the dentist, the pharmacist. That's like a trio right there of the hospital.
money isn't everyone's purpose, but money makes everything about life better.
Right.
You could work a simple job that you enjoy, that has benefits, and it's part of the S&P 500. And you could spend your free time doing whatever you dream about. That has been brought into reality. And even if it hasn't been able to be physically materialize itself into this reality, we now have VR.
Do you understand people who say, "Oh, my
You can enjoy your life. You don't have to
goal in life isn't making
be in a rush to die.
money. There are other things that I like doing." And I would
You could die peacefully.
say, "Okay, tell me what those things are."
Yeah.
And if they say, "Oh, I like helping people," I say, imagine how many more people you could help if you had $100 million.
That's so
if
true.
They say,
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Y'all see. Y'all gonna see along the way. Y'all gonna see. I'm not gonna give up because I get bored like that. Been there, done that. I got you.
Well, I just want to spend.
Even
time
if it's
with my
something young,
family.
it's gonna be the next generation.
I don't want to be slaving away and making all this money. If I have enough money to live, I just want to spend time with my family and relax and raise my kids.
Not even generation. It's not even about time. There's just people in different points of life. Like there's real deal time travel out here. First world, second world, third world.
Imagine how much time you could spend with your family and how much time
If
you
you
could spend
had
with your kids
$100
if you had $100 million.
And you give them the best life.
Yeah, so money does make everything better, but no, it isn't everyone's purpose. I get people who want to live in a small cabin by in the woods and fish for their food and just live without headache and have a wife and have their kids and just live
Simple.
off the land. Yeah, I completely get that. I completely get that.
Nothing against it.
I'm not going to walk up to the Bedouin people in the UAE and say, you need to make more money, bro, because they're very happy, content people. They've got their wives, they've got their kids, they've got their lifestyle, they've got their...
Unless there's a reason why they need to. I feel like no one will say that to you if there's not a reason within yourself that you would need said money.
way of living, and it's very
Works for them.
wholesome, and it's very nice, and they feel richer than a lot of people here in the West.
True.
So, no, it's not everyone.
They don't need a lot to make them happy. What I've found to be very interesting, and I recently discovered this, I guess, is people talk about money, but they don't realize that how good you are at anything is how much money you make by doing it. For example, if you can sing like a mid-level singer, you can sing in a bar and earn $200 a night. If you can sing like Adele, you can go sing in a stadium and make millions. So when when I was a kid, I thought I was an amazing footballer. But when I decided to see how much money I could make by playing football, I realized, okay, you know what, I'm not that good at football.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mix of...
Yeah, I had fun playing football in high school. But the thing about how much money I could have been making if I didn't play football in high school is like what made me not want to play sports. But no matter what my dad said, he was like, don't worry about it. He wanted me to enjoy my childhood. And I feel like if you live in America, that's a big part of the American dream. So, like, do enjoy it, Like, you will grow, you will get taller, Don't limit yourself mentally. Like, have faith that, like, you're going to grow over time, okay? Because there's a lot less stress on us if you can walk into the future. Yeah, I get the conservative thing and the whole the conservative thing is just to make sure we remember and learn from our history. But if you can use that wheel to ride into your dreams, it's just like you might as well.
talent, and it's a mix of marketing as well.
Yeah.
There are some people who aren't very talented who make a lot of money doing various things.
But what if you say they're good at something?
Marketing
some
themselves.
aspects, yeah.
Because I said this to one kid. I said, you shouldn't waste your time playing video games. And he hit me with this stupid response. He went, PewDiePie plays video games. He makes hundreds of millions of dollars. I said, PewDiePie is not a video game player.
He's a skill.
PewDiePie is a presenter. He
Entertainer.
is a presenter. He's an entertainer. He's charismatic.
He has his personality, he has his character.
He's smart. He's sharp.
Funny.
He's funny. He's a comedian. You can play video games just as well as him, and you will be poor forever. It's not about his video game playing ability. It's about how he markets himself. So yeah, self-marketing is his talent.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
Yeah. But people want to see the easy thing he does.
Yeah, exactly. And people want to make cop-outs for their lazy behavior.
Yeah.
Oh, I play video games because, he makes millions playing video games. Like, yeah, there are people who make millions doing all sorts of shit. But these are the elite of the elite at what they do, and they also have a bunch of other skills that people don't have.
Yeah. You see, sorry to keep moving around the subjects a bit ADHD, but do you see a lot of, let's say, violence in jail or rape or fights?
There is a lot of violence in jail, but, and this is a misconception, my haters will say stupid things to me like, oh yeah, enjoy jail, don't drop the soap. I'm like, jail works the same way all around the world. And it works in this following way. When the 6'4", 17 stone, 107 kilogram man walks into the jail cell, they don't think, let's fuck with this guy. They think, I hope this guy isn't gonna fuck with me. You know what I mean?
True.
So if you show people respect, someone like me who's capable and can defend himself and stand up for himself is always gonna be fine. I think in most jails in the world. So
Interesting. If I were to ask you, Tristen, I'm about to get married.
yeah.
What advice would you have for me if I could ask you like 3 questions? What should every person ask a potential spouse? 3 questions.
Well, yeah, if you're gonna get married, good for you, but it depends on the woman that you're marrying.
Yeah.
You have to know, my view on men and women has got me into a lot of trouble, so I'm going to explain this in a very articulate way without using any bad language so nobody could possibly attack me. I believe that men are born completely valueless, completely worthless. They're only worth anything to their mother and their father. And men need to create something great out of their lives. Men need suffering and hardships and struggle and experience to build themselves into men.
Unless your dad has a legacy that they want you to continue. And there's parents that have legacies that they want you to continue, that they want you to push forward, okay? That's where more conservative people come in, okay? And that's why conservative people are kind of the way they are. They are extreme conservatives, but that's essentially like conservative morals.
The man they want to become.
A man being born nothing is actually very, very far right. You know, you're born as an individual, you're becoming who you are. That's where the whole LGBTQ and all that whole other stuff comes in, and the furries and the animals, and yeah.
Whereas I think women are a lot more perfect than men are. I think that women are born with so much value, even just.
Because you know, Mother Nature is like, yo, are you gonna have babies or not?
I mean, if you get a beautiful woman, she's one of the most valuable people in the world by default. Yeah, so
God.
I feel like men need to build themselves into something beautiful. Women need to understand what they are and not destroy themselves. So any questions you could ask your previous spouse, I think knowing about her past is very important, and knowing about her intentions are very important. You know, if she doesn't want to have kids, don't marry her. If she doesn't like the thought of being a mother, don't marry her. If she's not happy to...
Okay, I didn't say don't marry her, but you know, when kids, there is a chance that kids might cross your mind. So if you ever want to consider real kids, I do suggest getting a pet.
Have you provide for her?
And if you think you don't want kids, get a pet.
And wants to go and chase her career, then say, okay, fine, maybe we'll get married in a few years. When you're bored of your career. Yeah. Now it's the time to have a family.
Maybe not even get a pet. Go volunteer somewhere.
I think marriage and family go hand in hand, and that's what they're for. So, yeah, know what her intentions
Because you shouldn't have to put a pet through that.
are for the future. Know what her past is like. Nobody is perfect, of course. Nobody's past is perfect. Mine certainly isn't. But just understand that, you know, she's going to be a good woman to you, that you're going to have no doubts in your mind. If you have to go away on business for a month, that you're not going to have any doubts that she's going to be cheating or doing anything wrong. And if you're going to get married and you think she's the right girl for you, then more power to you and good luck. Is what I'd say.
Thanks, bro.
It's literally the same thing my father said to me. He didn't get married till he was 38.
I'll marry her.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is so interesting because
6 kids, we all love him.
you know, arranged
5 kids.
marriage is
3 kids.
talked about so badly, but I'm always telling people
I was thinking about my uncle. 3 kids.
They
it's
work much
exactly
better.
what you would want.
They work much better than other marriages. They actually work
4%
much better.
divorce rates.
Yeah, 4% divorce rate. So it works because there's 2 families getting together, and the whole family is invested in the marriage. The whole family is invested in having the man not fuck up because he'll embarrass the family, having the woman not fuck up because she'll embarrass her family, and it's a union of families. So I think it does work very well.
Nowadays it's so easy. Oh, I don't like him. Let me leave. And I get half his money. Boom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I do think arranged marriage is very, very good, but as long as both people are happy.
Of course.
To do it. I don't think anyone should be
Forced.
yeah, I'd say suggested, recommended marriage.
Yeah.
You know, if my daughter's 18 and my friend has a son who's 26, I think, okay, it would be nice if they got married, introduce them to each other, see how it goes.
That is arranged.
But if my daughter says, oh, absolutely, I'm never going to marry that guy, I wouldn't force her to do it. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, but that's the misconception because it's not really like that.
It's
I
not.
mean, I guess it might be that for some people.
It's like recommended.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, there are parts of India where people are like really, really forced into
They see the
marriages
wife on the
they
first
don't
day.
want. Yeah.
On the first day of marriage.
No, I think recommended marriages for families work extremely well.
Exactly, yeah. You know, we speak a lot about Andrew and fights that he might have. Are there any YouTubers that we'd see you fighting with one day?
I only fight to defend my property, to defend my family, and to defend myself, or to defend my brother. So there are clips on the internet of me fighting.
I've seen.
You've seen. I'm not going to talk about those. That was me defending my personal property. You will see me fight if anyone tries anything stupid with me or my brother or the people I care about around me. I'm filmed everywhere I go. But
Your property is expensive.
In terms of professionally fighting, I think my days of professional fighting are over. I think I proved my point. I had a very good career, you know. I fought some very hard fights. I've got the broken nose to prove it. And
Your nose is broken?
Yeah, 3 times. Look, it leans to this side.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm very proud of myself. Now I feel like my mission is a lot bigger than getting in the boxing ring again. I feel like I'm changing millions of people's lives. I want to keep speaking stay out of jail, fight off these attacks that are coming to me. You know, I'm at war now. I'm at war with governments. I'm at war with police forces. I don't care about YouTubers. And plus, all these people say my name and try to get some provocative reaction out of me. I don't really know who most of these people are, and I don't care who they are.
Yeah.
But if they see me in person and they think it's going to be funny to try and slap me or hit me or push me, then you will see me fight.
Only street fight.
Only street fight.
Not in the ring. Just in the street. That's where you will show your skills. Yeah. Have you ever thought about, this is a crazy question, have you ever thought about going to a place like Yemen, or not Yemen, any place where the visa restrictions are too high, and then calling all your supporters to come there, and then like having like Tate Islam is what I call it in the church.
No, I have no political goals right now in that sense. It will happen, but not.
Go nowadays, where they go club, they go this, you know?
Yeah.
They need like a place where they can go, exercise, learn.
All right, yeah. So that's about it. He's a pretty chill guy, in my opinion.